What if Rome never fell? Not in a movie, not in some alternate universe, but in our actual history. Because if Rome had survived just one of its greatest crises, the world you woke up in today might not exist. It's the year 400. Rome is struggling. Its armies are exhausted. Its economy is weakening, and enemies are pouring across its borders. Basically, Rome has a problem. A very, very large problem. But this time, the Romans make a different decision. Instead of trying to preserve the empire exactly as it is, they rebuild it. The army is reorganized. The economy is stabilized. Power is spread across the empire. And, most importantly, Rome stops trying to fight everyone. The Goths still arrive. The Germanic tribes still cross the borders. The Huns still show up. Because apparently Rome didn't have enough problems already. But instead of destroying these people, Rome does something much smarter. It absorbs them. Their warriors become Roman soldiers. Their leaders receive Roman titles. Their children grow up speaking Latin, and eventually, the people who once threatened Rome become Rome. That's the first major change. Because if Rome doesn't collapse, there's no giant political vacuum left behind. And that means medieval Europe never develops the way we know it. The roads stay open, cities stay connected, trade continues across Europe and the Mediterranean, Roman schools and libraries keep operating, and Latin doesn't disappear. It evolves inside one enormous civilization. Imagine traveling from Britain to North Africa and still being part of the same political world. You wouldn't necessarily think of yourself as French, or German, or Italian. You might simply say, I'm Roman, and then Christianity takes a completely different path. In our timeline, the collapse of Western Rome helped create a Europe where kings, churches, and empires fought over power for centuries. But if Rome survives, there's no medieval Europe in quite the same form, no Holy Roman Empire, no France and Germany developing exactly as they did, no Europe divided into the same collection of kingdoms. One decision in Rome has now changed the map of the world. And here's where things get really interesting. Roman knowledge doesn't have to disappear. Engineers keep building, libraries keep operating, schools keep teaching. Every generation inherits what the previous generation learned, instead of having to rediscover it centuries later. Aqueducts become more advanced. Roads become more sophisticated. Mechanical technology keeps improving. Maybe industrialization happens earlier. Maybe certain technologies arrive centuries sooner. Or maybe they don't. Because Rome surviving doesn't magically make humanity smarter. It just gives civilization a completely different starting point. And eventually, Rome looks beyond its own borders. Persia, India, China, Africa, and then the Atlantic. Imagine Roman ships crossing an ocean they were never supposed to reach. Imagine Roman soldiers landing on American shores. Imagine Roman cities being built thousands of miles from Rome. The Eagle of Rome, flying over an entirely different continent. Now, fast forward to 2026. You wake up, you walk outside. Cars, phones, skyscrapers, airplanes, artificial intelligence. Everything looks pretty normal until you look closer. The roads beneath you still follow ancient Roman routes. Government buildings still carry Roman symbols, and Latin has evolved into one of the world's dominant languages. Instead of Italy, France, Spain, and Germany, you might be looking at provinces inside a civilization that's been alive for more than 2,000 years. Rome isn't a ruin. Rome is still here. But there's a problem. Empires don't always collapse because somebody defeats them. Sometimes, they collapse because they become too powerful to change, too large, too bureaucratic, too confident. So maybe Rome doesn't fall in the 5th century. Maybe it falls in the 15th. maybe the 20th, or maybe it learns how to survive every crisis thrown at it. And that's the strange thing about history. Rome didn't need magic to survive. It needed one different decision, one reform, one emperor, one moment. And the world you woke up in this morning could have been completely different. So, if Rome never fell, would our world actually be better? Or would we simply be living under a different empire?